Welcome to Brightside today on 10 Tampa Bay. I'm ADAURE Achumba. This is Nightside on 10 Tampa Bay. I'm ADAURE Achumba. Good morning and thanks for joining us. I'm ADAURE Achumba and welcome to the Good Morning Show. As votes are being counted in close races, CBS News predicts the House will lean toward Republican control while control of the Senate is still a toss-up. Nearly a week since 2022 midterm elections and results are still coming in. And now the balance of power, though, in Washington is becoming a little bit clearer. Last Saturday, or late Saturday rather, CBS News projected that Senator Catherine Cortez Masto won her close race in Nevada. And that gives Democrats the one seat they needed to retain control of the U.S. Senate. Now, CBS's Bradley Blackburn has more on the reaction tonight. Less than a week before Election Day, candidates are trying to make an impression on Tampa Bay. Experts say our area could be the difference maker in this election. Now, we've seen a slew of candidates across the Tampa Bay area this week. Just today, Democratic candidates courted voters in Hillsborough County and Manatee counties. Now, this evening, incumbent Republican Governor Ron DeSantis set his sights on Pasco County. 10 Tampa Bay's Shannon Clough was there as the governor made his pitch for another 4 years. Now, why are so many candidates focused on the Tampa Bay area? Political experts say in these final days, candidates will court communities and regions they consider are up for grabs. Tonight, a former math teacher in Haines City is behind bars accused of having sexual contact with a student. Detectives arrested Jeremiah Stringer just hours ago. Leaders with Polk County Public Schools say he's briefly taught at Haines City School this year, but was fired last month after the school learned he may have had inappropriate contact with a student. Health officials are warning multiple respiratory illnesses are already on the rise compared to previous years, and this holiday season, doctors worry those sicknesses like RSV will continue to spike. This Veterans Day, some are spending the day together, cleaning up and rebuilding the post where they would normally be, cooking out, enjoying a beer, and celebrating each other and their service to our country. A push this evening to counter the rising cost of rent in the Bay Area. St. Pete City Council members vote unanimously to approve a new tenant protection ordinance. And Tyler Moore, 10 Tampa Bay's meteorologist, joins us here. Tyler, tell me you have a dog.
I do have a dog.
You do?
Yes.
And that leaves me out then, because I don't have a dog.
You know, I never really dress my dog up.
You know, I do want a dog, but
yeah,
it's just one of those things I've just never gotten around to.
It's a big commitment.
Now, that tree is going to stay up for the remainder of the holiday season. And here with me this morning is meteorologist Tyler Moore. Tyler, tell me, you've seen one of the Rockefeller trees.
Yeah, I haven't seen it live in person before, but I've always seen pictures. I've always wanted to go and see it because it just looks so massive. I gotta ask you a question. Are you a real Christmas tree or a fake one in the house?
Actually, I've never put up a Christmas tree on my own, and I plan to do it this year. But then I'm going to be out of town. So what's the point if you're not going to enjoy your tree, right?
That's true.
3 days after Nicole made landfall as a hurricane, recovery efforts across the country and state continue. The Florida Medical Examiners Commission confirmed 5 deaths related to the storm. 4 people in Orange County and 1 in Duval County. In Daytona Beach, dozens of hotels and condos, some as tall as 22 stories, were declared uninhabitable. Just 6 weeks ago, this area was dealing with issues from Hurricane Ian. Those issues were only made worse by Nicole. Thanks, Taran. Now let's turn to some of the big stories making headlines today. Unforgettable and stressful, that's what High Point's interim police chief calls what happened early Friday morning. 2 people are dead after a standoff between several triad law enforcement agencies. The incident began late Thursday night into early Friday. Coming up, your weekend weather is next with Taran Kirksey. Will it be snowy skies heading into Super Bowl Sunday? He'll take a closer look at our chances. Plus, with new COVID strains appearing, more people are wondering if the vaccine will be effective and will you have to get them yearly? We verify that on the Good Morning Show when we return. I know you have plans. Tell us all about it.
Food. I mean, that's the most important plan. What about you?
I don't have much in my refrigerator, so I'm thinking popcorn and later on maybe noodles.
You can't go wrong with that. Popcorn's always a good thing.
Good morning, Eastern North Carolina. It's Saturday, November 4th. Thanks for waking up with us. I'm ADAURE Achumba. Unseasonably warm temperatures across Eastern North Carolina for the first week of November, but a cold front could change all of that. Meteorologist Ashley Pratt is in the Storm Track 12 Weather Center with a first look at your forecast. Good morning, Ashley. Matt, Mumfest is here. Do we need to bring out our rain gear with us? All right, thanks, Matt. Now the rides are set up, the mums are out, and all that's left is for the crowds to pile into downtown New Bern for this year's Mumfest. It starts this morning at 10. News Channel 12's Nicole Griffin shows you what to expect this weekend. And 10 Investigates also is digging into the controversial migrant flights. In the past couple of hours, we've obtained new documents about the flight to Martha's Vineyard. Now, the aviation company was paid more than $1 million for several migrant flights. Right now, State Senator Jason Pizzo is fighting to stop them. He's asking a judge to stop the flights altogether from happening. He argues that the funds haven't been used correctly. It's almost time to fall back. We turn our clocks back 1 hour Sunday to end daylight saving time. And every time we ask, why are we still doing this? Especially after we passed the Sunshine Protection Act in 2018. Now, Brandon Lewis verifies what it would take for states to stop doing this. And remember, you can now watch our Verify reports in a new weekly 30-minute program dedicated to helping you see what's true and what's false. Now, that show airs Saturday nights after our 11 p.m. newscast right here on 10 Tampa Bay. Right now, Florida doctors are no longer allowed to provide gender-affirming care to minors. This after Florida health leaders officially voted to approve the ban. Now, last week, a committee recommended to ban certain transgender treatments. That includes sex reassignment surgeries, puberty-blocking hormones, or therapies. Supporters of the ban argue it could help younger people who they believe may regret their decisions later. But the rule goes against federal guidance and several medical associations. To Riverview, where investigators are trying to figure out what caused a deadly fire that killed a man and his dog. It happened in a mobile home community. Crews say the mobile home was engulfed in flames when they arrived. They tell us there were no fire hydrants nearby, so they had to bring in a water tanker to put it out.
Our water tankers can hold 3,500 gallons.
And tonight, Parkland shooter Nicholas Cruz begins his life sentence without parole. Just hours ago, a judge formally sentenced Cruz for the murders of 17 students and staff inside the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School 4 years ago. It marks another emotional day as families and survivors had the final word.
I only pray that you get to rot in that cage and that you are punished each day.
Now, if you haven't already bought a Powerball ticket, you may want to get into a store today. The jackpot just rose to the highest price ever offered by the U.S. lottery, $1.6 billion. And that's, of course, if you opt for an annuity paid out annually over 29 years. But if you decide to take the cash option, like most people will do, you can end up with more than $782 million. The drawing is tonight at 10:59 p.m. You have until an hour before the drawing to buy a ticket. We're helping you and your family make the most of your money this morning. There's a push across the country for high school students to get educated about their personal finances. Wendy Gillette shows you a new program rolling out in one state. The height of the COVID pandemic might feel like ages ago, but for the frontline workers who endured what was likely the toughest time in their careers, it's hard to forget. On 10 Tampa Bay's Malik Rankin shows you how a Tampa nurse is paying tribute and giving back in her own special way. And we'll have more details on the organization Carla is fundraising for, and that information will be on our website, 10tampabay.com. And now to a health alert from the FWC on red tide levels along the Florida coast. We're following the latest bloom of red tide. This week, the Florida Department of Health expanded its advisory for all 16 beaches in Sarasota County. It's also been detected in Manatee County. Now, 10 Tampa Bay's Miguel Octavio shares how it's affecting neighbors in Venice. Those with chronic respiratory problems are encouraged to stay away from the beaches where there are red tide advisories. And we have a list of those beaches with elevated levels of red tide for you on our website, 10tampabay.com. There was a very special birthday over the weekend in Iowa, and I bet you can't guess how the special lady turned. Now, Bessie Hendricks, the oldest living person in the United States, recently turned a whopping 115.
Wow.
She celebrated the occasion with all of her surviving children at her side. Her oldest child, Joan Schaefer, just celebrated her 90th birthday. Her children say that family always comes first for her, and they are so lucky to still have her around. That is amazing. And 10 Tampa Bay's Tyler Moore joins us here. Tyler, isn't that just wonderful that people can have the Nana that long?
Yeah, it's incredible.
And that does it for the Good Morning Show this Saturday. CBS This Morning is up next at 7 a.m. I'm Aduria Chumba. Thanks for joining us, and get out there and get to it. And that's all we have for you on Nightside. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again tomorrow. And that does it for us here on Brightside. We'll see you back here tonight at 6. I'm Aduria Chumba. Have a good one.